Now, this video is about soulless beings, one of the 5 major signs someone doesn't have a soul. Now, before I start this, you want to know exactly what it means when a person doesn't have a soul. This means a person is disconnected from their soul. They're disconnected from their consciousness. This means that they have little to zero life force energy. They're disconnected from their spirit. And you can honestly tell when a person doesn't have a soul, right? Now, whether you like it or hate it, this is the truth. And one thing about me is I don't spiritually bypass things. I tell the honest truth. So I will know right away when a person doesn't have a soul, and you can tell too. The universe will show you this. The universe will give you obvious signs that this person doesn't have a soul. They don't, have a consciousness at all. They are basically just a human body vessel, or like an empty human body vessel, that kind of just operates on this really low frequency. Now, okay, the first sign, right? The first major sign is narcissism. Most people that don't have a soul, most soulless beings, they usually are narcissists. These are people that are like really wicked and evil, narcissistic people, manipulators, backstabbers, abusers, cheaters, all sorts of craziness, right? They are basically known for like doing really horrible, evil things and then thinking that they're right. And they're really good at manipulating, their reality. They're really good at, manipulating consciousness. Narcissism plays a major role when a person doesn't have a soul, because it's like, for a human to be narcissistic, this means a human has to be really demonic, because narcissism is actually a sign of a demon. Anyone that's a narcissist, that's actually a demon. So that's not even a human as well. So when you think about narcissism, you're probably thinking that that's just a human condition. No, that's a demon. Like that's a demonic spirit controlling that person, so narcissism is actually one of the big major signs when a person doesn't have a soul, you know what I mean? So narcissism. The second sign is no life force energy. So when you're around this person, it's kind of like it's like you feel nothing when you're around them. You look into their eyes, you just see emptiness, right? You're around their spirit, you feel emptiness. You're around, It's like anytime you're around them, it's like you don't feel safe, but you also don't feel nothing at all. You know what I mean? Like this person is kind of like really, really empty. You know what I'm saying? It's like no life force energy basically means that person is dead. No life force energy just means that person is spiritually dead, meaning that person is kind of like, it's like an empty body vessel. It's kind of like this person doesn't have any form of spiritual awareness. They're basically just dead. It's like an NPC. And I hate using the term NPC, but NPC is one of the quickest ways of explaining, what a soulless person is. An NPC is basically just a person that is disconnected from everything. They're just disconnected from existence. Do you know what I'm saying? That's the second sign. The third sign, and this might actually surprise you, is racism. When a person's racist, you know what I mean? That's also one of the biggest signs as well. That person doesn't have a soul. Racism, you know what I mean? They have these superiority complexes, right? You know what I mean? They think that they're above others based on race. Racism plays a major role. Racism is also a sign of a demon too. Anytime a person is racist, you're really looking at a demon. Demonic people are very, very racist. You know what I mean? That's also like one of the biggest signs of a soulless being. Judging other races, judging other skin colors, thinking that they're above others based on skin colors. These are all illusions, right? This is bigger than just the ego. This is like a person they don't have any spiritual awareness. You know what I mean? They are under some form of mind control. That's a demon possessing them. So, you know what I mean? When you come across these type of people, like that's a demon possessing them. Once again, in this channel, we spit the honest truth. You know what I'm saying? Because yes, I'm all about unity, but I completely understand. I'm able to recognize evil and I call out evil. I don't sit there and say, people are capable of changing, Nah, I call out evil. So you see evil for what it is. Racism, that's the big sign. A person doesn't have a soul. They're soulless. I don't care. I will say how it is. You know what I mean? That's the truth. The fourth sign is they have a black aura. People with a dark aura are usually soulless. A dark aura means you are disconnected from your consciousness too. This means your frequency is so really, really low. Like your frequency is so low to the point where it can't even be recognized. Like a dark aura is a major sign that person doesn't have a soul. A dark aura or a black aura. This is like a person that has a very, very, very low vibration. Which means their frequency is so low that they're disconnected from Mother Earth. They're disconnected from the cosmos. They're disconnected from Mother Earth. So it's like a black aura is usually a sign of like a demon. You know what I mean? So pay attention to that too. Now, the fifth sign is the sun poisons them. When a person doesn't have a soul, the fifth major sign is, once again, when the sun poisons them. They have a disconnection to the sun. Anytime they're in sun, the sun poisons them. They have bad allergic reactions to the sun. Now, if it's skin conditions, that's different. But if it's simply their body is just really, really toxic and their blood is really, really toxic, right? These are one of the major signs. The sun always poisons them. It's like they avoid sunlight. You know, demons and reptilians avoid sunlight. Do you know what I mean? Draconians and soulless beings and demons, they avoid sunlight. So the sun kind of reveals everything about a person, right? The sun reveals a person's frequency. The sun is able to recognize who's natural and who isn't natural. You know what I'm saying? So one of the major signs is, sunlight. You know what I mean? You never see them in the sun. They avoid the sun. They hate being in the sun, or anytime they're in the sun poisons them. They just turn really red or bubbly. You know what I mean? This doesn't always mean that they don't have a soul, but it's like you see that the sun is literally poisoning them, and they're not even in the sun for that long, and automatically straight away they're turning colors. You know what I mean? Or they're getting sick. This is because the sun eliminates parasites. So like if you have a disconnection to the sun, this is because the sun recognizes you as a parasite. The sun only eliminates parasites. So that's another major sign too. That person doesn't have a soul. Like, bro, Mother Nature recognizes them as a parasite. So if Mother Nature recognizes you as a parasite, that's one of the biggest signs. So let me know in the comments.